Okay, we're going to solve a problem now that asks us to solve a differential equation, but notice there's something new here. It says solve dy dx equals e to the x divided by y, given that y of 0 equals 4. So what they've done is they've given you what we call an initial condition. And the initial condition tells you something about which specific member of the general solution we're looking for. In other words, it's going to help you find C. So when you're given an initial condition, instead of having a constant somewhere in your answer for the solution to the differential equation, you're going to have a specific value for C based on this information. A little bit more to it, but not a ton more, and I'll show you kind of how this goes. The first step is still the same. I still need to separate my variables, and I think I can do this by writing that y dy is equal to e to the x dx. And if I integrate each side, the left side, the antiderivative of y dy would be y squared over 2. The antiderivative of e to the x with respect to x is e to the x. And right here is where I need my constant c. Now, as far as when and how to use, well, the how isn't, but as far as when to use this initial condition, it's really up to you. You can go ahead and use it now, or you can wait until the very end of the problem and do it then. I generally think it's a good idea for you to go ahead and use it when you get the chance. So it first is worth pointing out what this means. Y of 0 is like function notation. So what they're saying here is when x is 0, y is 4. And if when you see that you need to take a second and write that out, I think that's fair. I think that's a good idea. So what I would encourage you to do is to go ahead and use that information and plug those values in for x and y wherever they show up. See that? So I'm going to give you 4 squared divided by 2 equals e to the 0th plus c. And what I should be able to do is solve that equation now for c to get a specific value for the constant. 4 squared is 16. 16 divided by 2 is 8. E to the 0th is 1. So I think c, my specific constant I'm looking for here, is 7. Okay. So what I need to do now is to go back to this step here where I plugged in those values, and I need to tell you what c is. E to the x plus 7, right, because it's c. And now I still need to make my last step solving for y. So I can multiply both sides of this equation by 2. Y squared would be 2e to the x plus 2 times 7, which is 14. And now I need to take the square root of both sides. And don't forget plus or minus. Y would be plus or minus the square root of 2e to the x plus 14. Let's do one more. Slightly more complicated, slightly more difficult. Solve the differential equation dy dx equals ln of x divided by x times y, given that y of 1 is 0. Or in other words, when x is 1, y is 0. So let me separate my variables. It's a little more complicated in here that I don't want to take this whole denominator over to the other side. But I could multiply both sides by y. And I could multiply both sides by dx, and I think I have the separation. So I'll integrate each side. The left side is, again, the integral of y dy. That's y squared over 2. The left side, though, I think is going to require some kind of maybe a substitution. So maybe I'll let u be ln of x, and that would make du, oh how convenient, 1 over x dx. And I think that this is now just the product of u and du, ln times 1 over x dx. So all I've got here is the integral of u du, which is u squared over 2 plus some constant. Or when I write it here, I'll plug my u back in. How about ln of x, the quantity squared, divided by 2 plus some constant. Now again, you don't have to do this step next, but it's been my experience with students that they have their most success when they go ahead and do this. Let's plug in the values we know for those from that initial condition. So we get 0 for y whenever x is 1. Well, you know, 0 squared divided by 2 is 0. ln of 1, the power you'd raise e2 to get 1, hey, that's 0 also. So guess what? In this case, c is just 0. And that's okay. So really, when I go back to this step here, if I plug a 0 in here, I really can just kind of leave that off, can't I? I get y squared divided by 2 equals ln of x squared divided by 2. If I multiply both sides by 2, y squared would equal ln of x squared. And if I solve for y by taking the square root of both sides, I need, you know, the square root of something squared is ln of x. And this is going to seem picky. I still need plus or minus there, because the negative sign would work out just as well. It's time for you to try this skill now. I really think you've already seen all the skills you need to be prepared for success in this learning target. It just takes a lot of practice, but I know you'll do well. Thanks for watching.